Hi, I'm George, and in this Coralfish 12G video, I'm going to show you how to set up an empty media reactor from scratch with some GFO or carbon provided to me by TB Aquatics. Before we fully begin, most of you need to know or be reminded what GFO and carbon do. Granular ferric oxide, commonly referred to as GFO, efficiently filters out phosphate from the water column and prevents outbreaks of unwanted algae. This promotes better coral growth since the corals will not be robbed of the nutrients allotted to them. Too much GFO can actually harm your corals though by drying them out of a couple key elements, causing them to bleach. Don't be scared off though, as long as you add the correct amount per gallon and change the filter media every 60 to 120 days, you should be fine. You can pick some GFO up online from TB Aquatics. They have regular GFO or high capacity GFO, which removes twice the amount of phosphate by weight. I like their private label because it's a simple and cheap option for those of you who use a lot of GFO or just want to try it for the first time. They also sell carbon and biopellets, which are used similarly as GFO in a media reactor. But for today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating the process of setting up an empty media reactor with GFO because my tank has had a huge outbreak of algae lately.
So let's get started. Just a reminder, the process I'm about to show you can also be used for carbon and biopellets. I'm going to be using this media reactor from IceCap, which is completely empty and didn't come with anything. I like its beginner build though, and it fits perfectly in my 10-gallon nano reef filter. If the media reactor is empty, you're going to need to buy some sponge dividers for it. Most come with those, but you can also buy them cheaply on eBay. I'm simply going to take this filter sponge and cut it in half, one piece for the bottom and one for the top of the reactor. I'm going to be using the TB Aquatics high capacity GFO today. Now, the following is how I rinse and add it to the media reactor, and in my opinion, the most important step. You need to rinse the GFO before you put it in your tank, or it will rinse off a brown residue everywhere in your tank, and trust me, you don't want that. I like to put it in a bowl and rinse it out many times before I even put it in the reactor. Now, some people like to put it in the reactor first and then let it run out into like a spare bucket for a few minutes. This method works perfectly well too, but to me, I just prefer my method. It seems easier. Now, the GFO is going to be a little hard to distinguish, at least in this video, because, well, when it's wet, it looks pretty dark, similar to this black sponge I got in there. But you can see it. You just want to toss it in there over the first sponge. It looks good, but I'm just going to add some water to even it out, make it look a little prettier. After this, you can add the top sponge inside the reactor. Now, you could probably add it a little bit higher than where I put it, but as long as it's making sure that the media you put in the reactor isn't leaving the reactor, well, it's doing its job. And once you have securely fastened all the parts of the reactor, you should be ready to add it to your tank. Here's my all-in-one tank by Ocean Box Designs. I'm going to put the media reactor in the so-called second chamber, and this ice cap reactor simply fastens to the wall of the tank with like a really strong magnet. Now you can turn on your reactor and see as your aquarium's water gets pumped and cleaned by cycling through it all day long. Soon after adding the reactor and media, I saw vast improvements in my water quality and a huge reduction in algae.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys got a lot of information out of it. Again, you can purchase any type of filter media from TB Aquatics. There is a link to their website in my description below. Subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thanks for watching. George, out.